I think it's important to point out, as many people have, not just within this House, but also outside of this House, that this piece of legislation is not what, unfortunately, the Conservatives are trying to label it as an attack on legal gun owners. As a matter of fact, this bill is only going to affect about 3 to 5% of gun owners as it attempts to only ban military-style assault rifles. In other words, Madam Speaker, guns that are designed to kill the maximum number of people possible. I come from a family, both on my side and my wife's side of the family, my in-laws, that are proud hunters who have hunted for many generations going back, whether they were in Canada or immigrated from another country. I have a close uncle of mine, on my mother's side of the family, who owns a lodge near. But I think it's important, Madam Speaker, to address the concern that to address the fact that this bill is meeting the concerns of many, not just parliamentarians, but indeed many citizens and stakeholders throughout this country. Let's go to chiefs of police for starters, Madam Speaker. And over the years, there have been a number of chiefs of police that have warned about these risks associated with weapons of this style. The Saskatoon Police Chief, Tory Cooper, said in an interview that people who use firearms in committing crimes in Saskatchewan obtain them primarily by theft. Regina Police Chief Evan Bray said that crime guns are, quote, not being brought in by the United States, but are coming from break and enters. So one has to ask themselves, should I believe the Conservative narrative that all these guns that are being used for this purpose are coming through illegal means through the border? Because, of course, that's the narrative that the Conservative Party has trumpeted for years in this House, as I've heard it myself. Should we believe that narrative, or do we believe the Chief of Police from Regina? I mean, with all due respect to my Conservative colleagues, I tend to side with those that seem to have the facts and evidence and the real-life experience, notwithstanding the fact that, of course, there would be members from this House that would have real-life experience in law enforcement as well. I want to turn briefly, Madam Speaker, to an issue that came up in the Standing Committee on Public Safety and National Security, because I think that it's extremely germane to the discussion and indeed the position that's being taken by Conservatives. But actually, before I do that, let me just jump to something else here. I'll come back to that in a second. And that is the fact that it has been quoted by the Canadian Firearms Association. I'm trying to find that quote, that the leader of the opposition met numerous times with the National Rifle Association in Canada when he was running for leadership. And I asked the question, why, you might be asking the question, why is that relevant to the Conservative Party's position on this bill? So this brings me to what I mentioned a few moments ago, and that's an issue that happened in the House of Commons Standing Committee on Public Safety and National Security. So I really wish I could share a prop in here, but I won't, because that's against the rules. But I draw to the attention of members two particular cartoons. I'm looking at them, so I'll try to describe them to the best of my ability. So, Madam Speaker, this legislation is necessary. We need to move forward with it. We need to protect Canadian lives. We need to listen to the chiefs of police that I've already quoted in here earlier, so that we can save lives in Canada and stop playing games to the benefit of some people in this country that are trying to promote, and rightfully so, their position on the matter, but unfortunately are completely intertwined with the Conservative Party. What a load of crock, Madam Speaker, with all due respect.